Hey guys, it's Nick with Braindead, and in this video we'll be recapping the events of the original Halloween, the first ever slasher film.
About Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, what about Bam, what about Black Christmas?
The first ever. Okay, so right off the bat, I just want to say that Halloween is my favorite horror movie franchise, and the original movie is easily my favorite horror movie of all time. So I admit that I am extremely biased when it comes to my opinions on all of these movies. So when I inevitably cover all of them and give them way too much praise, just let me have this. Anyway, the movie is perfect in every way, shape, pun intended, and form, so there's nothing really to discuss in the review portion of this video. However, something I should discuss is the fact that I will only be covering the current timeline Halloween films, which at this point only include the original, 2018, and Kills. Of course, I will get to the rest of them eventually, but you'll have to subscribe to know whenever that happens. But until that time comes, makes me very happy to say, let's get into Halloween 78. The movie opens with The movie opens in Haddonfield, Illinois, Halloween night, 1963. Crickets are chirping, owls are hooting, and little Mikey Myers is on the prowl for premarital sex-having teens.
Target spotted.
As his sister Judith and her boyfriend Daniel go upstairs to make stains, Michael grabs a kitchen knife from a drawer downstairs. Daniel, deciding it's getting too late to stick around, exits the Myers residence, leaving Judith alone with Michael, the latter of which creeps up the stairs into his sister's room and stabs her to death. He then makes his way outside, where his parents are just arriving home, and unmask the little murdering bastard. And I know that this is just to move the story along and there's no real reason to put any thought into this, but what makes this really tragic is the parents' timing. Like, if they would have gotten there 2 minutes earlier, maybe none of this would have happened. Dawn, come on, let's go. I want to get home to see our loving, amazing children. Just a moment, Edith. I'd like to show John here a few pictures of our beautiful, wonderful children. So, that one there's Michael, he's the quiet one. That one's Cynthia, we don't talk about her. And that one's Judith, my favorite. Now I know I'm not supposed to say things like that, but she really is just a golden child. Honestly, I don't know what I would do without her. Okay, honey, let's go. Take it easy, John. Hey, Judith, I love you so. The movie picks up in Smiths Grove, Illinois, about 150 miles away from Haddonfield. It's been nearly 15 years to the day that Michael killed its sister, and on this particularly dark and stormy night, Nurse Marion Chambers and Dr. Samuel Loomis are on their way to pick up Michael to take it to its court hearing. As they arrive, however, they find a handful of inmates wandering around outside the main gate.
Since when did they let them wander around?
What do you think, Marion? Loomis gets out of the car to call the sanitarium staff, but while he's doing that, Michael then attacks Marion, steals the car, and drives off. The next morning, Loomis berates the sanitarium's administrator, Dr. Terrence Wynn, about Michael's escape. Nobody seems to have an explanation as to how it got out so easily or how it was even able to drive. Certain that Dr. Wynn will have absolutely no more importance to the overall story from now on, Loomis leaves for Haddonfield. On his way there, he finds an abandoned tow truck off the side of the road and, upon investigation, discovers a matchbook that once belonged to Nurse Chambers, meaning Michael was responsible for the deserted vehicle as well as its dead driver who is missing his coveralls. Earlier that same day, Haddonfield high schooler Laurie Strode stops by the Myers house on her way to school so she can drop off a key for her dad, just barely missing the shape in the window that stares at her as she walks away.
Hate to see you leave, but love to watch you go, because your butt.
While in class, Laurie gazes out the window to see she's now being stalked by the ghost of William Shatner. She looks away, only for a moment to answer a question, and when she looks back, nothing is there. Once school is out, Laurie and her friends are walking home and she spots the car from earlier, all but confirming that she is being followed. Her friend, Annie Brackett, yells at the driver, a decision she immediately begins to regret as the car comes to a screeching halt. Okay, so I have to say that this part is very funny to me because you know Michael's in that car just like...
No, not yet, Michael. They'll get there soon enough. Yeah. Oh, and that mouthy one? Oh, she's getting the headstone for sure. Okay. All right, let's go.
A little further down the way, Linda breaks off from her friends, and Laurie yet again spots the shape peering out from behind a hedge.
Hello?
But when Annie goes to check it out, it yet again disappears. At the same time, Loomis finally gets to Haddonfield and immediately goes to Judith Myers' gravesite, but finds that someone, or something, has stolen her headstone.
Take him home.
Later that same evening, Annie picks up Laurie to bring her to her babysitting job, and on the way, they run into Annie's dad, the sheriff of Haddonfield. He tells the girls that some kids broke into a hardware store and stole some Halloween masks, a rope, and a couple of knives. But we know what really happened, and it wasn't any kids. It wasn't even a man. It was a supernaturally possessed doll. Chucky did it. As the teens drive off, Dr. Loomis pulls in, attempting to warn the sheriff about the impending doom about to befall their town. And, just like Laurie before him, Loomis barely misses the shape, unknowingly allowing it to slip right past him. Sheriff Brackett and Dr. Loomis then make their way to the Myers house, hoping they'll find Michael there and put a stop to the carnage before it can even begin. They unfortunately don't find it, however, they do find evidence that it's been here.
Dog. He got hungry.
He got what the fuck? You know, I'm just now realizing while writing the script that this is the second recap in a row to feature dead dogs. So, that's cool. No, Michael's not at the house. Rather, he's following Laurie and Annie to their babysitting jobs, Annie babysitting Lindsay Wallace, and Laurie babysitting Tommy Doyle, respectively. But to Evil Incarnate, this is where the fun begins. It stands outside of the Wallace residence and is spotted by Tommy from across the street, who correctly assumes he has just seen the boogeyman. He tries to tell Laurie, who is currently on the phone with Annie, but before he's able to get her to look outside, the shape has vanished. It reappears time and time again, always managing to stay just out of Annie's sight. She calls her boyfriend Paul and invites him over for a game of spicy Twister.
Right hand red.
Left hand blue.
then drops Lindsay off at Tommy's house so she can go pick him up. After taking some time to find the keys to the car, Annie fails to notice it's already somehow unlocked. Something she does notice, however, is the fog on the inside of the windshield. Yeah, I still check the back seat because of this, but you know, you should too, because it's super easy for anyone to do this if they really wanted to do it. Catching up with Loomis, who is standing guard outside the Myers house, spots a couple of neighborhood kids who send their friend Lonnie up to the house on a dare. The good doctor thankfully decides to intervene to save the boy from the wrath of Michael Myers.
Hey, Lonnie, get your ass away from there.
Or possibly just to fuck with them. Shortly after this, Loomis notices the Smith's Grove car that Michael had stolen, and he starts to patrol the town. Meanwhile, Michael disposes of Annie's body somewhere in the Wallace house, just as Linda and her boyfriend Bob show up. But Annie is obviously nowhere to be found, so the couple head upstairs to hide the taquito. After they finish up, Bob heads downstairs to grab them both a beer. He sees the back door slowly creak open and, mistaking it for Annie messing with him, goes to check it out. Michael then bursts out from the closet, lifts and stabs Bob in the chest, pinning him to the cabinet. It then dresses in a ghost costume with Bob's glasses on over the top, leading Linda to believe that Bob is just playing around with her. More annoyed than amused with the gag, she calls Lori to ask about Annie and Paul because they've been missing for so long, but before Linda can get a word out, she's attacked and strangled to death with the phone cord.
I'll kill you if this is a joke.
Now, rightfully worried about her friends, Lori heads over to the Wallaces. She calls out all of her friends' names, getting no response, and eventually, she makes her way into the house. She looks around, finding no one. That is, until she gets upstairs and discovers Annie's body, placed on the bed with Judith Myers' gravestone above her head. As Lori screams in terror, Bobby Boy's body drops in, the knife that killed him still in his chest. And as if that wasn't bad enough, Linda's body also presents itself in the conclusion of this corpse party. Michael seemingly manifests from the darkness, attacking Lori from behind, barely allowing her to get away. She makes it out of the Wallace house and back over to the Doyle's residence, narrowly avoiding the slow-moving shape. But with the phone lines disconnected, the window open, and the subtle sound of breathing through a cheap William Shatner mask, Michael appears again out of nowhere and again misses his target, earning itself a sewing needle in the neck. Thinking she's killed it, Lori goes upstairs to get the children, but as Tommy puts it,
"You can't kill the boogeyman."
as a wounded but not dead boogeyman shuffles upstairs, Lori hides the children in their room, tells them to lock the door, then hides herself in a closet in another room. This turns out to be an ineffective hiding place as Michael begins tearing down the door to reach the nearly helpless babysitter. Thinking quickly, Lori grabs a wire hanger and sticks it in the eye of her attacker, causing it to drop the knife, which Lori then uses to stab it in the stomach. She wrongfully assumes the boogeyman is dead for a second time, sending the kids to the neighbor's house for help as the shape rises, ready to finish what it started. Lori is attacked again, this time removing Michael's mask, revealing what looks to be a normal man. Dr. Loomis, having been alerted to Michael's presence by the screaming children, enters the home just in time to save Lori. He shoots it 6 times, sending it over the ledge to the ground below.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
And you can't kill the boogeyman. The movie ends with Michael's heavy breathing over multiple shots of where it's been, or, even more frightening, where it still could be. Thanks for watching this recap. If you made it this far, you should totally subscribe because I'm gonna be putting stuff like this out all the time now. If you saw my Thing video, you'll probably notice that my stack got a wee bit taller. Yeah, just recently added this bad boy right there, and I'm very happy about it. Anyway, if you have any suggestions for movies I should recap, I got a Halloween series to do, so it might be a minute before I get to them, but still, send them my way. Comment, throw them on my social medias. I'm everywhere at Braindead Horror. Or, hey, if you like live stream game content and watch-alongs, I got a whole channel just for that. Or if you just want to casually hang out with me while I edit this video and videos just like it, I'll be doing that on Twitch on a regular basis, so come hang out, say hi. I'd love to just chat with you. Otherwise, that's all I got for you for this one, so thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you again real soon.